we can discuss about active voice and passive voice. But the first is we can talk about active voice. What is active voice? Active voice is a sentence whose subject does something or does a job. In Indonesian, we know the active voice by the prefix me in the verb. The active voice formula pattern is as follows: subject plus main verb plus object. Okay, there are some examples of the active voice. The first is he read books every day, and the second is she called me. The sentence above is called as an active voice because the subject of the sentence actively performs action, namely reads and calls. Alright, now we are going to the passive voice. Alright, we can start with the definition of the passive voice. Passive voice is a sentence which the subject is subject to work or suffer something. In other words, the subject of the passive voice becomes the target of the activity state by verb. In Indonesian, the passive voice of the verb always begins with the di. Okay, my friends, now we're going to the formula of the passive voice. The passive voice formula pattern is as follows: subject plus to be plus past participle or verb 3. And not to remember that verbs that not have the object cannot be put into the passive, such as come, die, have, happen, and etc. Okay, my friend, after knowing the formula, now we're going to the example of the passive voice. First is book is read by her every day. And the second is I'm called by her. Okay, my friends, from the example of the active voice and passive voice above, we can conclude that to form passive voice, we can use an active voice. There are some requirements how to form active voice into passive voice. The first is active voice to be converted into passive voice must have an object and the verb used must be transitive verb. And the second is the subject in the active voice will be object in the passive voice, while object in the active voice will be subject in the passive voice. The third is the verb in the passive voice must be past participle or verb 3, which is preceded by to be. And the last is the arrangement of the passive voice sentences must be in accordance with the tenses or the form of time. Okay, my friends, that's all my explanation about active and passive voice. And now we will continue by paying attention to the following conversation made by partner, which contains example of active voice and passive voice sentences.
Hello Ezra. Hello Ira.
Hai tu Juni.
Hi to Juni. Hello guys. Are you busy on Sunday?
I'm not busy.
Is there anything we can help to you? Well, it's our friend's birthday on Sunday. We'll be planning to make a surprise with Susie.
Wow, I don't remember it.
That's a good plan. So, my plan is that we celebrate at restaurant and surprise us with shirts as a gift. How about it?
That is good. I have an idea. What if I give the cake later?
That's good. And I give the gift. Well, what if before Sunday we ignore her so she gets confused?
Okay, I agree.
Me too. He must be surprised. Hello Ezra. Hello Ira.
Hello, Juni.
Hi to Juni. We were guess Trey asking maybe he broke it by accident.
Okay guys, but I want to ask, who ate my drink earlier?
The coffee was drunk by Tasya. I think he was thirsty earlier.
Okay, thank you.
Okay guys, from the dialogue we can take a conclusion that the active voice. For example, Ira gave the check later. The second, Ezra gave the gift. And for the passive voice, we can take a conclusion. For example, Juni checked it back. And the last, Juni's books was brought by Rina. And then my pen was taken by Rina. And the last, the coffee was drunk by Tasya. Like that.